Thurman says Errol Spence wouldn't last 6 rounds with him or Terence Bud Crawford. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the big homie Keith One Time Thurman recently gave an interview in preparation for his big matchup with Tim Tszyu coming up here in the near future. He spoke about the potential rematch between Errol the Truth Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. And he gave some pretty good insight onto that matchup. And he gave some pretty funny analysis about that matchup. I just want to break that down. Give my 2,000 nickel for anybody left.
He says in this game, sometimes fighters get old overnight. Errol Spence, the undefeated champion. There's just a different fighter from before accident, post accident. Then before that contract, he was supposed to sign a contract with me, but he got into another car accident in December. He couldn't fight Pacquiao, and he was supposed to fight Pacquiao after my defeat. Thurman should have been fighting Spence. We should have had 2 young undefeated fighters unifying. Then the winner of that should have fought Crawford. That's what this generation was supposed to do. Spence, in his current condition, even on that night, Spence doesn't beat Shawn Porter on that night. Spence doesn't beat a whole lot of welterweights in the top rankings on that night. Spence definitely doesn't get past the 5th, 6th round with Keith Thurman on that night.
All right, y'all. So what did Keith One Time Thurman have to say about Errol the Truth Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford, and the potential rematch?
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, basically, he said he feels like that Errol Spence is not the same fighter he was, prior to the accident. He feels like that Errol Spence actually should be heading into retirement. He spoke about a lot of things in that interview and gave some really cool insight to what was going on behind the scenes, surrounding the Pacquiao fight and, a couple of fights before that as well. But basically, he said that he feels like Errol Spence isn't the same fighter that he was prior to the car accident. He said that version of Errol Spence that went down to Terence Crawford wouldn't have beat him, wouldn't have beat Shawn Porter. Actually, there's a whole laundry list of fighters that he would have lost to on that night.
He sure is one lazy nigger.
And I actually have to agree with Keith Thurman there. I do think that version of Errol Spence, with all the problems, the altitude sickness, the rib injury, the eye injury, that version of Errol Spence, I probably could have beat that version of Errol Spence. And I've never had a professional fight in my life. I've had some street fights, but no professional fighting ever in my life. But I probably would have beat Errol Spence on that night too. So when you look at it like that, I have to say that Keith Thurman is right. He most likely probably wouldn't have lasted 6 rounds with a lot of great fighters of this generation. The thing that I disagree with Keith Thurman about is he was saying it kind of like Errol Spence's career is over. Like, the version of Spence that went down to Crawford should never get into a boxing ring again. There's no way for him to repair himself, basically. And that's why I kind of disagree, that version of Spence is the only version we'll ever get of Spence ever again. And I think it's kind of funny coming from a guy like Keith Thurman because of what happened with him and Pacquiao and that whole situation.
Oh, hello, little nigga.
And the fact he's only taken 1 fight in almost 6 years. If a guy like Keith Thurman can have all that downtime, have all those problems, and he was suffering from some injuries as well, why is it that Errol Spence can't make a comeback if Keith Thurman can make a comeback? If Thurman can, go 5-6 years without taking, more than 1 fight and still come back and fight a guy like Tim Tszyu and fight for a championship, what makes him think that Errol Spence can't come back and at least give a better showing than he did in the original first Terence Crawford fight? That's why I have a disparity with what Keith Thurman has to say. And he's kind of making it seem like that he's the next guy up. And, you know, the interviewer, he mentioned whether Keith Thurman would fight Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. at 154, and he actually brushed that off. He actually said that those two guys are 147-pound fighters. They're meant for 147 pounds. He made it seem like they're not actually going to move up in weight.
And you can read it for yourself in this photostatic copy. I, the undersigned, shall forfeit all rights, privileges, and licenses herein and herein contained, incendium gloria culpum, etc., etc., memo bis punitor delicatum.
So he kind of really just brushed that fight off. He said if he was to go back down in weight, those are potential matchups he might take, but he's pretty much looking forward to the future of 154 pounds. Like, he's actually going to beat Tim Tszyu. And I found that, you know, hilarious all in itself because, you know, I don't give Keith Thurman even 1% chance to win that fight. Not because he doesn't have the talent, but because he only fought one time in 6 years. And your legs are going to start to have problems when you're taking that type of time out of the ring. I know most fighters are very athletic and they run and do all this other stuff, but when you get back into the ring and have to keep up with the pace of a younger guy, a strong guy, a guy who's actually naturally a little bit bigger than you, then I think you're in for a real surprise. And I think that Keith Thurman is going to get a real surprise in that fight.
He's a very good athlete and so well-spoken. That family's going places. I mean, we're rich. They're nigger rich.
Oh,
but at the end of the day, does Errol Spence Jr. actually make it past 6 rounds with him or Terence Bud Crawford? I actually think he would beat Keith Thurman at 154. And I think that Terence Crawford will probably knock him out at 154, you know, inside of 6 rounds. But, you know, that's here nor there. I don't think we're actually going to ever see those fights because I don't think Keith Thurman is going to make it past Tim Tszyu.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy-ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
Or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got captain in front of it.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her, and I pulled the segment.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who, as a comedian, talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything.
I mean, we got to know where his money going to.
As much shit as you say about people.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tubes or holler at me over there. If you want to collab or feature a product of your channel on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are...
Hey yo, I came up Louisville, West End, nigga, 22nd Street today. And ain't nobody really paved the way. So I'm out here struggling, trying to make my way. I see lax, bourbons, nigga, North's watch. At the same time, I'm smoking on a talk stop. I'm thinking of his ways to get my bread in. But now it's a dead end, and plus I got dead friends. And my people just got out of that pen. Yeah, I should've wrote him, but you know how that is. Niggas see me rolling, cops pull me over and they mad it ain't stolen. Money be folding. You know I'm trying to rescue my nieces and my nephews, put them in a prep school. I suggest you approach respectful. I'm all about them big checks, dude. Niggas outside, they slanging that rock. Chicks on the side, they slanging that. Nigga like me, you make it see. Chick making money, they breathing up. Everybody gotta get paid. Said everybody gotta get paid. Said everybody gotta get paid. Hey yo, I came up 45th Street, West End, Louisville, back in the day. And I seen a few niggas that they use them up. And I seen a bunch of niggas cause I moved a bunch. I seen fiends, gangsters, niggas bout they bread. Nigga try and hustle and they turn up dead. And a nigga see me rolling, think I'm about that money cause he see my teeth golden. I ain't got no dope in, you know I'm trying to bless you. My flow is special and plus I rap too. And it ain't just downtown, Westport, nigga, hustle on the ground. Niggas outside, they slangin' that ride. Chicks on the side, they slangin' that. Nigga like me, they make you see. Chick making money, they breathing up. I said, everybody gotta get paid. I said, everybody gotta get paid. I said, everybody gotta get paid. I can't hate you, dog. Hey yo, I'm coming up. You might see me in the ATL in a couple of days. And I ain't at the underground. I'm somewhere off I-20 and I'm puffing a pound. That boy Young Keys, he about his business. Representing spotless to the day that he spend it. And a nigga see me rolling, trying to hate because they see what I'm rolling. I'm the one she chose, man. I ain't disrespect you, don't make me check you. The car won't wreck, dude. Even though I'm gone off the brown, plus I'm on my way downtown, blazing the pound. Gray Lincoln Town car cruising. The back of that bitch, that's Louis Keys. Nigga, I'm about that cheese. You can do what you do, but you ain't fucking with me. That nigga sauce, laid the beat, and plus I'm off one crazy weed. And when you see a nigga rolling, that's why my eyes be low and swollen. Hoes in the ride.